The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the Way FM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. Getting you caught up. It's news-ish on The Wally Show.
On social media, I've been seeing this hashtag that's been going viral, and it's hashtag DND or hashtag DND 24/7.
What?
And I wanted to get behind it. Like, what are we talking about? Well, the DND doesn't stand for Dungeons and Dragons.
Gavin's so sad.
So much less interest now.
It stands for Do Not Disturb. So it's the setting on your phone that you can actually turn on and nothing, it's pretty much like a dumb phone, like nothing works after that. So a lot of Gen Zers, the younger generation, they are using Do Not Disturb on their phones. And the reason being, they're finding out that when they turn on Do Not Disturb, their sleep is better, their work performance is better, their reduced anxiety is better, and also they feel less overwhelmed because they're not getting those constant notifications on their phone.
It's not just Gen Z. Betty Rock is a D&D.
Yeah.
Because when she goes home, she naps every day and then sleeps at 6 o'clock at night and then tries to get a good 12 hours in. But she puts her phone on Do Not Disturb. I was working last night like at 6:30 and I needed something that gets like a two-factor authentication that goes to her phone. And I'm like, do you have this? And it says, Do Not Disturb. And I'm like, oh, and I know if
you can push through.
I know it says you can push through anyway. And I did not do that. But Betty Rock did still see the thing before she went to bed and got back with me, which was nice.
Right. I think mine started when I was doing Do Not Disturb. It started because I needed it for work. I didn't need to be disturbed by anything while I'm live on the air. But then I just found out that I forgot to turn it off and it just kept going. And I was like, you know what? I kind of like this. So I kind of kept it going. But it turns out that there are other ways that Gen Zers are doing this. Instead of doing Do Not Disturb, they're getting a flip phone instead.
Oh, yeah.
Or they're turning their phones into an app-light dumb phone, which is where you kind of put a black and white screen on your phone so it's not so colorful, it doesn't get your attention. If this sounds like something that you would be interested in doing, it's really easy to do, especially if you have an iPhone. With the iPhone, you go to Settings, then Focus, then click Do Not Disturb. With an Android, hang on, you got to swipe down from the home screen to your notifications center, then swipe to expand the panel and tap Do
You know
Not
what?
Disturb.
We're not going to disturb you if you have an Android phone because we're just not going to text you because it makes the green bubbles and it's just not worth it.
We're better off.
You're fine. You'll be fine. But follow those steps if you have an iPhone and you want some sanity in your life.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know I'm doing it really, really well.
Uplifting Way FM. This is The Wally Show, and I fancy myself as an amateur first responder where I like to get involved in situations and help out because it's the way the Lord wired me, but no formal training. And so Betty Rock will take a situation where people did respond and ask me to assess it and see if it was done properly.
Yes. So there was recently a video going viral of a paraglider, and you can see him going over a bridge. These people catch him on their phones. They're filming it. But he doesn't see the power lines that are in front of him. So his parachute, it hits those power lines, and immediately you see this electricity fire up, and it takes the parachuter, the paraglider, down straight into a river.
No, I've seen that.
Now, thankfully, no one is harmed. Everyone is fine. The paraglider was able to use the tires from the wheels from the paragliding instrument, I don't know. Due to buoyancy, he was able to stay afloat until the police could get there and rescue him from the river.
Yeah, because there are a lot of ropes and strings that come from the paracord, basically, that comes down from the thing. And that could become an anchor.
Right, but these people filming, they didn't step in. They just called 911. But as an
Weak
amateur
sauce.
first responder, how would you have handled this situation if you had saw a paraglider come over you, hit power lines, and go down?
Well, I would have known he was going to hit the power lines right away because, again, I anticipate.
Yes,
you know, like I would have seen him coming over.
Yep.
I would have probably tried to throw something at him to make him aware that there's power lines.
Instead of yelling at him.
Like my
you would've-
backpack or something. I would have tried to throw something into the motor.
Interesting.
To bring it down before it hit the power lines.
So it could hit the bridge?
Yes, and then he lands because now we're in a swiftwater rescue situation.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna have to take a second to hand somebody my phone, take my wallet out of my pockets, dive into the water off of a bridge because that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, you have to.
Yeah, you have to. So I dive in off the bridge.
Yep.
And what I'm gonna do is take a negative and turn it into a positive.
Love it.
Because you've got all these paracords there, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Like I said, it could become an anchor.
Yeah.
So obviously I've got a knife with me because you always do.
Always.
So I'm going to cut the parachute free.
Okay.
And now I've in essence got a leash, okay? So
Yeah.
I'm going to take that. All those cords, I'm going to put them in my teeth. And I'm going to swim to the side of the river because I'm still fresh. I haven't been shocked. I'm good.
Right,
I'm going to
right.
swim to the side of the river. Then I'm going to get to the river. I'm going to tie them around a giant rock. And then that is going to take,
Yes.
based on the principles of mathematics, with that rope tied around the rock, if he is being swished away, that rope is going to act as the anchor now. And it is going to thereby basically take and just usher him safely and quickly and slowly into the bank.
Wow.
And he will be able to be saved.
I see.
So there you go.
You're not thinking that any other strings or paracords or whatever you want to call them are going to act as an anchor
No.
towards his ankles and
Yeah.
drag him down
No.
into the water, causing a worse situation.
No, because I know how paragliders are constructed because it's one of the things we do in our training is we have to know different vehicles
There's
and how you might
training?
encounter and how you might encounter them on YouTube. And so yes, that's what I would do.
Wow.
The other
amateur
option would
first
be to
responder.
throw knives at him to let him extricate himself, but I'm afraid he might drop them. He might be in shock. They might stick in him.
Right. And by then he won't need you.
Right,
And you
right.
want to be needed.
Yeah. So there you go.
Wow. Well done.
Another satisfied rescue.
Fresh emails.
Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. And I got an email from this guy. He and I email back and forth a decent amount. And we kind of talk about things that he's heard on the show. And the other day, he said, you asked about God not being able to be around sin. Because I talked about this, and it's one of those things that I'm a little confused by, how it works and things like that. Or why did you create things that you couldn't be around? Or how does, all of that. So anyway, he goes, hey, I don't see this as a limitation of God. And this belief comes from Habakkuk 1:13. Busted out some Habakkuk. I like that.
Wow.
No one goes to Habakkuk. He says, where it says, God's eyes are too pure to look on evil and how he doesn't tolerate wrongdoing. Said, I would say that it's not that God can't be around sin, more like he has healthy boundaries.
Oh.
And I went, that is a really interesting perspective.
That's something that I'm constantly trying to work on, our boundaries.
Yeah, I know.
And so I like that.
I know. He said he doesn't allow sin to enter heaven where he in his abode is. Keep in mind that he doesn't look at us as filthy sinners, but through the blood of Jesus. He only sees his children. He loves us more than anything. So while God, in quotations, can't be around sin, it's not a can't as in he doesn't have the ability. Because I was like, well, wait, is there a rule set up then? If God can't do this, he can do anything we say. But if he can't be around sin, who set that rule up? Was that God, or was that a rule that he had to abide by? That's where this whole conversation came from. And so this is what he was addressing. But more like can't as in the same way is, I like this example. He says, it's more like the way that I can't get on TikTok because I'll get distracted and lose hours of my life for what seems to be 5 minutes. God doesn't have limitations other than he chose to impose on himself for our good. So it was an interesting perspective on that. I just like that idea of it's not this hard and fast rule, but it's his own boundaries set up for good kind of thing. But here's the part I really love about this. Is this guy says, yeah, believe it or not, I used to preach sermons like this while I was incarcerated. And so this guy's got a pass, man. And I love that about him. And I love that he listens to the show. And he and I have all these kind of faith conversations all the time, because it'd be easy to paint him with one brush. Oh, you were in prison, your life is done. And he has a hard life after getting out. But it's not what defines him, and I think that's as important as the rest of this email as well.
Name it and claim it.
Name it and claim it. Claim it.
Name it and claim it is where people ask us to put our heads together and come up with a name for something they love, an inanimate object usually. And what we do is Betty Rock and I each come up with a name, and then we talk about them. And if one of us thinks the other one has a better name, we'll switch to that and say that's the one we send. But if we both really like our name, then we throw it to Gavin, and he has to make the decision of which name that we send. Like this one is actually a card today. It says, "Hey Wally, I've listened to you guys for years. Love your sense of humor and craziness. Helps me get through hard days in my life. I haven't heard you do this in a while, the Name It and Claim It. I was hoping that you and Betty could come up with a name for my car. It's a red Honda CR-V. The details help us for sure. Bought it last October, have not named it yet. Can you help me out? I live in Oregon, and me and my dog Hazel have taken lots of adventures in this car." So, Betty Rock, why don't you walk us through your thought process of what you came up with?
I went down a lot of paths, but I settled on CRV being the initials of the full name. Okay. So the first, I'm going to explain it, but the whole name would be Candace Rose Verity.
Okay.
All right.
How did you get there?
Well, Candace is a queenly title in Acts 8.
Okay.
So I'm bringing a spiritual.
In Acts 8,
No
Candace?
way.
Like Candace Beret?
Yes. Okay. So I'm bringing a biblical aspect to it.
Let
me finish. Let me finish.
I will. Just a second. It just seems like next you're going to tell us there was a Tiffany in Romans.
So then, Candace
was.
Rose is the Oregon state flower.
Oh,
okay.
that
And
is
then
good.
Verity means truth.
It does, yes.
Okay, so we're going with Candace Rose Verity.
What was truth as part of it? What was just because?
Because Verity means truth. Because, because Candace Rose Verity as a CRV, she tells you the truth when she's on E. It means she's empty on gas.
Okay,
That was a
very
stretch,
good.
but-
That's
Truth teller.
Yeah. Rose, the Rose part of that's great.
Okay, go
and
with yours.
Candace in the Bible, that's
Let
amazing.
me hear yours.
Okay,
It's so much better.
I don't know about that today. To be
Okay,
honest
well,
with
then
you.
you could have kept your mouth shut.
Well, at first I was queuing in on the adventures out there, and I was going to go in up direction. For
Don't throw out multiple names.
No,
You're
I'm not.
going with
I'm not.
one.
I was going to go in an up direction with one of the names of the characters from Up, like the lady, but I did not do that. I ended up, because I cued in on the fact that it's red, and that she has a dog that she loves very much named Hazel. And so I went with, why don't you name your car after a very famous dog and name it Clifford? Because it's the big red car.
Oh.
Clifford, the
Oh,
big
I
red
see.
The
car.
car was red.
Yes,
Yeah. So you got Clifford the big red dog and Clifford the big red car, and so there you go. That's my offering.
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
simpler than Betty's, but I think effective.
So you have Clifford or Candace Rose Verity? Because I'm not changing.
I'm not changing either.
Yeah, I know. It's tough because like yours is long, Betty.
Yeah.
Like
A lot of explanation.
It's a lot of explanation. Clifford's kind of
I cannot.
basic in my mind.
Yeah, but
No
sometimes
offense. I know. Yeah.
clarity is the new creativity. We're told.
I mean, if you don't like biblical references, fine by me.
I do actually want to reward Betty today.
Thank you.
And
Why?
I know. She had Rose in there. So,
Okay, let me tell you this. I would have gone with Betty's had the V meant something. Because the Candace was odd finding that in the Bible. Mad props for that. The Rose, the Oregon State flower,
still there.
mad props
Yeah.
for that. The V was like a
You did kind of have
I
to.
had to
Why do you have
find
to
it.
badmouth
I'm
mine,
not.
Clifford?
Could
Yes,
it
you
be-
are.
could it be-
You are. You went to a children's book and got your name. It was practically made for you, and then you're getting on to me?
Okay, well-
Absolutely not.
Like mesh them, maybe? Could it be like
No.
Clifford Rose Verity.
No.
I love it.
Send
no,
that.
Okay.
absolutely
All
not.
right, that's a good compromise.
No.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and if you've ever kind of felt alone in something that you're going through, you don't have to. We have the prayer wall for you, where you can post the prayer requests that you have, the concerns that you have. You know where the name from this came from years ago? Because we started it like on Facebook, the Facebook wall and stuff like that. And then in Jerusalem, they have the wailing wall where people will take slips of paper and slide them in there for their prayers and stuff like that. And so that's where we came up with the idea and the name for this. It's the prayer wall. And so people post prayer requests there all the time. Like this one, they want to be anonymous. Said, hey, I need prayers for my health issues, for my wife to give her strength, and for my kids to give them peace. while we are searching for the answers. I'm in my mid-40s with 3 very young kids. A few weeks ago, had too many strokes. They can't find out what's going on. They found a mass in my chest that will require like an open heart surgery. It's going to be a long road ahead of me trying to find answers and this surgery, but I pray for peace, and I fully believe in the power of prayers! ! That is somebody that has to. There's so many things beyond your control, but I do love the fact that it's not just pray that I'm healed, pray that I'm healed. It's like pray for my family to walk through this with me, because when you go through a health thing like that, you never walk through it alone. It affects everybody in your life, and your kids probably could even doubt, where's God in this? You know, your wife could that. You could do that. And so praying for other people in the midst of his mess, I think, is pretty impressive. And, you know, obviously we all pray for healing of the ones that we love. Doesn't always go that way. I mean, I'd love to tell you that every time you pray, God's going to heal the person you pray for. Does it happen? Yes. Does it always happen? No. And so this person, we all live in the midst of that. Like, what is it going to be? And so this person is right there now. But the one thing that is constant is that when you pray in all the things that you don't understand, God's promise isn't that he'll heal everything, but his promise is that he'll give you peace. And so that's a big part of the prayer wall and a big part of this guy's prayer. And we'd love to have you be a part of this.
Text the word pray to 91979. When you do that, we will send you a link that will take you straight to the prayer wall. You can find prayer requests like this one that Wally just read, or many, many more. And when you pray for those, you can click that little box to the side that says, hey, I prayed for this. And that person that put up that request on the prayer wall will get a notification on their phone or through their email saying, hey, somebody prayed for you. And that could be just the encouragement that they need to get through the day. So text the word pray to 91979 and we will send you a link. Hey, Wally, do you have a minute?
Sorry, busy.
I have cake.
Oh, what do you need?
Yeah, see, that's a perfect example of even though we are busy, we make time for what's important.
Yeah, because going back to school as an adult, you're busy with work, you've got family, but if you want to make your education a priority, trust me, you can do it. Betty did.
Like when I first started, I was super intimidated because it had been a while since I've been in school. But I mean, from the very first conversation, I felt like they were setting me up for success.
Yeah, and going back to school with CCU's flexible online courses makes it so convenient.
Yeah, and what's so cool is every class has a biblical worldview perspective. And so you think, well, how can they turn math into a biblical worldview? They find a way.
Yeah, and that was one of my jobs when I was teaching at CCU, was integrating not just the facts and figures of things, but how your faith plays into what you're going to do.
CCU offers Christ-centered higher education, transforming students to impact the world with grace and truth.
Cultivate your mind without compromising your heart. Get started today at online.ccu.edu. Colorado Christian University is a non-profit impact partner.
Finding the good in the bad. It's News-ish on The Wally Show.
They say bad things come in threes. Recently, Theo Huxtable, Malcolm Jamal Warner, he died. Then Ozzy died. And now Hulk Hogan, which Betty is going to cover in the Rock Report a little bit later, have all passed away. And I found it interesting, though, this thing about Ozzy. I was kind of looking through stuff last night, and this guy on TikTok was talking about sharing the gospel with Ozzy Osbourne just a couple weeks before he died. And it's a crazy story. He had seen an interview of Ozzy saying that he believed in Jesus, but he could never understand the Bible. He didn't read it. It was too hard to understand. So this guy goes out and buys a New Believer's Bible so that it would make sense for Ozzy, and he's going to go to a show and meet him and make sure that he hands him this Bible. But he actually has his name put on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and there's a funny story that goes along with that.
The bookstore where I got that done at, they'll announce over the intercom when your Bible's ready. Now, they should have said, Mr. Novak, your order's ready. No, Ozzy Osbourne, your Bible is ready. When I tell you,
way.
There were like two guys
You could hear
standing
pin
there,
drop.
and I said, and they were like, "Is he here?" I said, "No."
That's so great. I know somebody in the bookstore is like, what just happened, you know? Because again, these things don't seem to go together, but that's the beautiful thing about Jesus is Jesus does get into people's lives where you don't expect it, you know? And so the story doesn't end there, though. So he goes and he gives the Bible to Ozzy, and Ozzy's touched by it, but he strikes up a conversation with Ozzy's son, Jack. And, Jack tells him about some of the other religions that he's been looking into, and he said, hey, why don't you research these, and if we ever see each other again, we can compare notes. Well, 2 weeks later, he ends up seeing Jack. This guy ends up seeing Jack at this convention in Vegas. And Jack recognized this guy, calls him over to his table where they were doing signings and stuff. And Jack tells this guy the story about the Bible that this man had given to Ozzy and how important it became.
So he said, Dad's exhausted. We're taking him up to his room. He said, we get him to the elevator and he goes, where's my Bible? I'm not going upstairs without my Bible. And he said, all the horror convention people are like, what? And he said, I told him, Dad, it's in your autograph room. It's already locked up. We'll get it tomorrow. No, you're going to get it now. And he goes, okay. So he said, we go into the autograph room.
Goodness.
There, he said, there's your gift bag. And the Bible was sitting on top on the table. He said, so we grabbed the Bible, we take it up. And so he said, and Dad, he said, I was like, are you happy? Yes, I am now. And he said, so we went upstairs. He said, the next day at lunch, Ozzy, he was like, did you see my beautiful Bible? And he said, we were like, yeah, we did that. That's beautiful. And then Kelly was like, I got something similar. And he said, we just all started talking about what you'd given us.
Yeah.
And he said, so just know, the Osborne family sitting around the table, we're talking about where you shared the gospel with us.
Oh,
That's
wow.
crazy. I mean, what a crazy story. Like, and he had given them each personal gifts, handwritten notes and stuff, because he cared enough about them. And it didn't stop there. It just kept going.
Everybody that's come to my dad's house since the event, he said, they're like, hey, how did the convention go? And he said, he'll go, I got the most beautiful gift. Sharon, go get my, and because he said it's sitting on his bedside table.
Wow.
And he said, my dad doesn't keep many gifts. He's gotten a lot of gifts through the years, but he said, I just want you to know that Bible's on his bedside table. Wow. And everybody that walks through the house has to see the Bible with his name on it that he can understand.
Mind you, this is a couple weeks before he passed. So, I mean, I don't know where it goes, what it does, what God's doing with this guy, but I have to believe it was that important to him. It was probably there with him when he passed, you know? Mm-hmm. And the other part of this story, though, is that this guy cared enough about Ozzy and his family, and he was intentional with his efforts. He could have written it off as they're going to see me as crazy or whatever, but he led with love, he led with compassion, he led with concern. He didn't lead with the gospel of, you've got to turn and you've done so many bad things and you're going to face judgment one day. He led with love, and that is making an impact on that entire family. And I think that is a massive lesson for us all to take away in how we share our faith. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show, and I think we all have opinions about things or judgments. We can get a little judgy. And so when we find things kind of out in the wild that we maybe even disagree on, or like, we want to roll it out to you to find out if we're crazy or not with how we feel.
Yeah, I saw this post online. This woman claims that she was babysitting for a couple and that they called her ahead and they were like, hey, we're actually going to be running 2 hours late than what we told you. So we're actually going to be out a little bit later. She was like, no worries. That's fine. Kids are asleep, but she hasn't eaten all day. So she's like, I'm just going to order some DoorDash.
Makes sense.
So a stranger comes to the door, knocks on the door.
No, a DoorDash employee comes to the door, not a stranger.
True. No, you're right. So a DoorDasher comes to the door, knocks on the door, and leaves the food on the welcome mat and leaves.
They didn't open the door at all.
Didn't even open the door. The babysitter opens the door, grabs the food, and then comes back in and starts eating. Now, I guess because there was a Ring doorbell, the mom of the kids that are being babysat, she sends a text to the babysitter, and she's like, hey, was there a stranger at the door? Did you order DoorDash?
I did.
And the babysitter says yes.
Because you're late, 2 hours late. There's nothing in the fridge.
Well, the mom said that she was uncomfortable with the babysitter just doing that without asking for permission and, quote, leaving the kids alone.
Oh, for the love, they're in their room asleep.
So,
what am I supposed to sit in there with them and watch them?
She didn't leave the house.
When the mom and dad got home, they ended up telling her that they could not trust the babysitter anymore and fired her.
Now, wait. Okay.
Dramatic.
I do understand. Like, if you had said, okay, I'm gonna have somebody come over, a friend of mine come over, bring me food, hang out with me, all of that stuff, like someone they didn't know, totally fair. But to just order DoorDash and then go to that point, that's like a helicopter Karen mom, it feels like to me. I could be wrong. Like, I would not be mad about that at all.
Well, online, people, their comments are on both different spectrums. So you have some people that are like, yes, you should have asked for permission. If you were going to order DoorDash, you should have asked for permission. Other people are like, it's a DoorDash. People do it all the time. It's not a big deal. So that's why we come to you.
If you knew you were babysitting the kids of Karen, maybe you asked for permission just to make your life easier, you know? But again, like, I wouldn't have even thought that was a problem. And if I had seen it on the thing, I might would have been like, oh, okay, I know. At least I know that you did that.
And I think too. Well, there's cause for blame on both sides. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe this is me trying to be the peacemaker.
This is your 9 Enneagram coming out.
But if the mom was going to be running 2 hours late, then you need to provide food for the babysitter. Yeah. You can't just expect her to starve herself for the rest of the night. But then again, should the babysitter have asked for permission? Like, oh, okay, you didn't know you were going to be running 2 hours late. I haven't eaten. Can I order some
But then
DoorDash?
the mom goes, no, I don't want a stranger at my door. Now what do you do?
I don't know.
Eat everything in that house. Everything. Even things I don't like. I'm like, I would be eating broccoli.
This is why you never babysat. This is why you still need a babysitter at 56.
Probably so. All right. 5 calls it, y'all. Let's go. 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. Where do you land on this? Is it okay for a babysitter to order a DoorDash while they're watching your kid? I'd love to know your take on this. 855-33-WAY-FM. We got the lines open now. All right, so where do you land on this? Is the babysitter out of line or doing fine?
I'm a mom. I have 3 kiddos. I'm on the side of the babysitter. She said she doesn't trust the babysitter. I don't trust you. If I was a babysitter, I don't trust you to show up when you said you would.
A very good
be
point.
babysitting for you again anyway. That is a nightmare.
I could see this lady of having a lot of issues with everything that this babysitter does. That would be too stressful.
Goodness.
All right, Lucy, you're up. Was the babysitter out of line or doing fine?
I had the opposite thing happen to me with my 2 kids. I was so mad that my babysitter didn't order food. I felt so bad.
Because you were late, and then your babysitter was like, I'm starving. And so you would have rather she ordered DoorDash.
Of course. What if she passed out from low blood sugar? Then what would happen to me?
Great point, Lucy.
All right, Cindy, you're up. Where do you land on a babysitter ordering DoorDash? Is that acceptable or dangerous?
Absolutely acceptable. They had the ring. They saw everything, and my opinion is they didn't want to have to pay extra for staying out late, so that was their excuse.
Gotcha.
Cindy is naming it and calling it.
Yeah, because it's like, we can get another babysitter. But then, I mean, I have a feeling this lady has like a 3 or 6 month process to find a babysitter at least.
She might.
Yeah, if she's this concerned.
She's not going to have anyway. No, you can't find a babysitter these days unless you're going to pay out of your bank account.
The place, yes, yeah.
We know where you were going, Cindy.
I love her searching for the words.
This is a family station.
Well, I think that's a good one to end on, to be honest with you. And that's going to do it for our 5 calls it. I'm about to have a good day. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and Forrest Frank is blown up on the internet as of late, going viral, and for not the reasons he would like. I mean, his music's great. We play a lot of his stuff, but he was skateboarding like with his kid, and he wipes out, takes a bad fall, hits his back on the edge of the concrete, and basically breaks his L3 and L4 vertebrae. Just ugh. And so I like to write parody songs of things, and Good Day and Back Break kind of like landed, it wrote itself, and honestly, and I did have pause. Like, I'm like, I kind of did think, I'm like, should I do this? I'm not sure. And then when I saw him posting all over socials and kind of having a good attitude about him, like, okay, it's fair game. Yeah. He'll be fine. He's got a good sense of humor, and he's even working on music from his bedside. So I went ahead and wrote the song which if you want to see, I did a video too, and I might have used his face and some AI making it look like he's singing it, but whatever. So if you want to check it out,
just text the word BACK, B-A-C-K, back to 91979, and we will send you that link.
Okay, I'm going to give you a little taste of it right now in case you haven't heard it.
So it's a back brace, hanging with my kid, doing ollies with no shirt. I cracked my spine on concrete, I gotta say that hurt. I might have passed out, saw the good Lord from above. He said it's not your time, but you gotta give it up. Made it on YouTube, what not to do. Can feel my legs, I'm black and blue, but I know he's got my back. My stash is still intact. I'm about to have a back break.
Because that's the thing, man. You got to find the good and the bad. And the fact that he didn't hit his face and that his mustache is still completely intact is, I mean, that's the Lord looking out for you and looking out for him. That's his trademark.
Won't he do it? Won't he will?
Yeah, exactly. And so, he's, again, he has a great attitude about it. And then I came across a video of him actually making music from his bed, and he even called the song "God's Got My Back." Again, that makes me go, all right, we're good. And so he writes a song, produces it, laying there in his bed, and then released it, and so for everyone to check out. So we have the song from him, from his bedside, that we're going to play right now. And Gavin, you found this, right?
I did, and I want everyone... There are some lyrics at the end of the song that I actually think are really powerful, so pay attention to these at the end. He says, "Today is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it." Cool. "Today is the day that the Lord has made, even with all of the bad in it."
There it is.
And he's had some bad recently.
There it is. All right, so here you go. This is from his bedside, the brand new Forrest Frank song, "God's Got My Back."
God's got my back. Even when I fall or get attacked, God's got my back. Even when I'm low and full of lack, God's got my back. Even when my soul is full of sorrow, I don't have to worry about tomorrow. Why is that? 'Cause God's got my back right there, never left. I can feel your presence in every single breath. Sometimes we just gotta take a rest. Flowers like to bloom in the season that is best. Oh, your way is better, you make no mistakes. Even when my life is on roller skates, I won't fear no past my path, I'll just keep moving straight. 'Cause God's got my back. Even when I fall or get attacked, God's got my back. Even when I'm low and full of lack, God's got my back. When my soul is full of sorrow, I don't have to worry about tomorrow. Why is that? 'Cause God's got my life inside of his hands. Favor on all my plans. A roof to keep away the rain, and blessings that outweigh the pain. Oh, your way is better, you make no mistakes. Even when my life is on roller skates, I won't fear no past my path, I'll just keep moving straight. 'Cause God's got my back. Even when I fall or get attacked, God's got my back. Even when I'm low and full of lack, God's got my back. Even when my soul is full of sorrow, I don't have to worry about tomorrow. Why is that? Because today is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Today is the day that the Lord has made. Even with all of the bad in it. Today is the day.
There you go. The new song from Forrest Frank, "God's Got My Back," made from his bed, recovering from cracking his back. If you want to see that, or you want to see the parody song that we did for funsies, just text the word back to 91979. That's BACK to 91979, and we'll send you a link.
Do you want the good news or
I've got good news
the bad news?
and good news.
Well, looks like good news it is. It's news-ish on The Wally Show.
What you got, Gavin?
I can remember being a kid, kindergarten, and I feel like we've been asking this question forever. It's like, if you were a president for a day, what would be the one thing that you would do? And I remember kindergarten, Gavin probably said something along the lines of, candy only in the cafeteria
Stop
today.
bullying.
Well, oh, no. But probably.
Still hoping for it.
But the internet recently asked the question again of people to say, if you were president for a day, what would be the executive order that you would implement? And so I'll read off a few that people answered with, and then if we've got some, we can add them on to today. Stop bullying would be mine here at the station.
Yeah, he needs it here with Betty.
What?
So,
I'm the problem. You were the one that made the joke.
That's true. You guys are both bad. One person said, pants must literally be set on fire when politicians lie.
Oh, that's funny.
And so I
do like that.
I do think that's funny.
In all seriousness, I wish we had a moral code for politicians. Like, because if you'll cheat on your wife, what else will you cheat on?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like, if you already have different moral issues, then why would you not have gray areas when it comes to government contracts,
Yeah, and I think that we'd be a happier country if we just wholeheartedly trusted them to, again, say everything that was right. Someone else said, this is more for me probably, Super Bowl must be played on Saturdays for people that want to stay up till 10 watching all the nonsense and not have to go to work the next day.
That is a real good one.
Someone super random said that they would outlaw the state of Indiana. Don't get that one. But then someone commented from Indiana saying, I approve this message. If I was president for a day, I think that I would outlaw dress codes, like super strict dress codes. I'm just thinking back to being in high school, and I got sent to the principal's office because I didn't have a belt on that day. Okay. I had suspenders on.
Oh,
which are again style.
Previous conversation about bullying.
Wow,
it was a style choice, but they keep the pants.
Sometimes you can't blame the bully. You have to blame yourself. You give them too much.
Said the world's biggest bully. I think my TikTok feed is filled with people acting the fool on airplanes and causing disturbances, arguing, sometimes getting into physical altercations with flight attendants and stuff. I can't stand that. So if I was president, my unhinged proclamation would be tasers at every seat. Everybody gets a taser.
That's a bad idea.
It's a great idea.
Everyone
gets a taser because now if you act the fool and you think you're bigger than somebody and you're gonna abuse, all right, you might get one person, but you're gonna get 6 people getting you, and so then they're gonna just drag you off the plane. So I know again these were unhinged ideas.
Yes.
So if we're dreaming big, that's mine. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. Betty Lou, do you know who Lisa Harper is?
Yes, she's a female, pastor?
Speaker, author.
Author. I saw her once at Chewy's, and
Was she speaking there?
No, she was eating with a friend, but I was too nervous to go up and tell her, hi, I know who you are. Also, too, she has a dog that she named Bucky because she got it at a Bucky Beaver gas station.
Nice.
So, I like her.
Yeah, I think she has a really great insight into faith and everything. It's weird. There are some women that do all these women's conferences that are really great, and I would love to see a woman of this caliber, or Lisa Turkhurst is amazing, but do a men's conference one time from the opposite perspective of, okay, what do we need to know about you guys? Because they're really intellectual and they're godly women who know more about the Bible than I'll ever know, and I respect them, but then it's weird, I really like her. Can I? I don't know.
Of course you can.
Yeah, I don't know. But you're never going to get to go see her at an event. I caught up with her on TikTok, and she illustrated something that guys will never fully understand about women.
I get an extra hot, non-fat mocha with whip because I feel like the non-fat and the whip cancel each other out.
She's absolutely right. Girl logic.
That makes sense to me.
We do not understand girl logic. We don't understand girl math.
Mm-hmm. And I would say, too, that when it comes to diet brain, when you're trying to cut corners on diets and all that, some things make sense in your mind that it wouldn't to others.
I know that my wife doesn't understand the way I think, because guys and girls process things differently. If we have a bank account, say we have money that we were putting aside for something to pay for taxes in the end of the year or something like that. Like, I want it in its own compartment over here where nothing touches it. And then that way, when it's time to pay for it, you just take it, you close that account, and you move it over there. But she's like, oh, we'll just put it in the main account, and then we'll pay it when we get there. I'm like, no, but it's being deducted from.
Yeah, you're right. Like, what if we spend it on
Yes,
accident?
if it's in the account, lady, you'll spend it, you know?
But that's not how girl math works.
Exactly. See, and that's what I want to talk about right now. 855
33 way FM.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Not all the synapses are firing at this very moment. I just had a brain lock.
Right?
No, we're good. I just had a brain lock. That happens. You'll understand it when you get older one day. 855-33 FM. That's 855-33 FM. What is that girl logic that your guy doesn't get? And try to explain it to me and Gavin, because for the life of me, there's things my wife does that I'll never, ever understand. 855-33 FM. Let's go with a little girl logic right now. What is that thing that your guy will never get?
So I have to talk about my feelings. I can't just keep them in. And I like to talk it out. And it's almost like I need him to be my therapist. And he would rather not talk.
Yeah, but then here's the thing, though. This is the trap. Because the minute you get all your feelings out and you've got them out, they're all there, and he says, well, you know what I think you should do? That's where he messes up, because you don't want to take his advice. You don't want his help, actually.
We don't want him to fix it.
Yeah, you just want to process. But see, that's where you lure us in. We're fixers, and we're going to try to fix it, but then you get mad at us for trying to fix it.
I don't know, though, Rachel, because there have been plenty of times where Wally has wanted to vent. He's an external processor. And there are times where I could be like, maybe you should go and talk to them about it. He's like, I just need you to listen to me, hear me out.
Oh, you know what? Come to think of it, I might be the girl in our relationship.
See, that's right. So you understand where I'm coming from.
Exactly. Well, Rachel, thank you for being on the show with us. That's a great example. What's yours?
So what I do to justify an expense is to divide the usage into the dollar amount. So clothes, shoes, purses, whatever. I divide either day, weeks, months, the season into that cost, so I can say, oh, well, it's only costing this so much.
So if you have something that's, say, like a $30 shirt, and you say, okay, if I were to wear it every day, that'd be $1 a day, but realistically, I'll probably wear this once a week. And so that's $7 a week, and that's a great price for that shirt. That's only $7. No, it's not.
It is. It's perfect, and I usually do it for much larger expenses.
I got to be honest with you, it's not a horrible idea, because I'm looking at buying like a fake Rolex watch, and I need to justify that by how many days I would wear it.
Right. If you wore it for 2 years... Okay, that's 365 times 2. Uh-oh, we need Gavin in here.
Yeah, well, this is a fake watch. It's only like $140.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
It's like cents on the dollar.
Yeah,
you're
you're totally fine.
Girl logic is, does it make you happy?
Yes!
Then get it!
Yes!
I came here in a time machine that you invented. Great Scott! Now I need your help to get back in time.
Uplifting Way FM. This is The Wally Show. Evan Almighty is with us here. He's the guy taking us back in time today. Evan, what do you do for a living?
I work in sales, flooring sales.
Oh, okay. Hey, try to sell me this time machine.
Well, it's got a beautiful interior. It's much more spacious inside than the outside.
But what's with the weird smell?
Betty does not come with it, so we're good. Well, Evan, what song would you like to go back in time to?
I'd like to go back to Overcomer by Mandisa.
Ooh, that is a great song. What year, Betty Lou?
It was a great year for movies as well, because it was 2013. 2013 was the year that Sharknado was released on the Sci-Fi Channel, where a tornado full of sharks attacks Los Angeles. And get this, people loved it so much because of how ridiculous it was. It had 5 sequels to it.
No.
5!
That's crazy. There's no overcoming that. Absolutely. So why did you want to hear Overcomer here today there, Evan?
So back in 2018, we went through Hurricane Michael here in my hometown, and my dad at the time worked for city, and with all of the debris that we had, it brought up some allergies that he had, and he was diagnosed with pulmonary fibrosis.
Oh, that's what my dad had.
Yeah. So in 2022, he finally got his double lung transplant, but every day that he was hospitalized, if they put him on the treadmill, that was the song that he would sing, was Overcomer.
Nice. Is he still with us?
He is. Wow. He's doing much better 3 years later.
That's so great, because my dad, not to be a Debbie Downer, my dad passed away because he was too far along when they caught it and he wasn't eligible for the transplant. So I am super, super happy for you and that you still have your dad here. And it's a great song, Overcomer, Mandisa. It lives beyond her life and continues to inspire people today. So here we go, back to 2013 for Evan. It's Overcomer by Mandisa on Flashback Friday.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Staring at a stop sign, watching people drive by.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM. This is The Rock Report with Betty Rock.
It's not been a good week to be a celebrity. Malcolm Jamal Warner and Ozzy Osbourne passed away, and now Hulk Hogan. You know him best from this.
And what you gonna do when Hulkamania and the largest arms in the world run wild on you?
It's 46-inch pythons! I used to love wrestling as a kid. I watched Hulk Hogan and his manager Jimmy Hart. I was really into it as a kid. I kind of grew out of it. But it was interesting that Hulk Hogan became such a pop icon.
Yeah, he was the biggest star in the history of professional wrestling, making it a multi-billion-dollar industry. But sadly, at 71 years of age, he suffered from a heart attack and died. And while you might think, well, he had millions of dollars, he did, but at one point he lost it all, went bankrupt with so many controversies in his life that he wasn't immune to them.
Sure.
But towards the end, specifically a year and a half before his death, he publicly declared his faith in Jesus, getting baptized along with his wife at their local church, and he later called it the greatest day of his life.
Yeah, I love to see that because, his life wasn't without controversy.
Nope.
But none of us are.
No.
Honestly. Like, if we're honest, and I don't think it's right to paint a person with one brush for their entire life. Because if we look at most of us, we have those moments that are blips and not good, where we're not our best self, we're not our best version of a believer. But by and large, most of us, our good outweighs our bad, not in a salvation situation, but just in life and how we treat people and things like that. And so I do like that people are looking at his passing and they're like, this has been a big part of his story in regular mainstream media, not just on the Christian circles of like, oh yeah, he got baptized like 18 months ago. They show him getting baptized. I think that's a good thing. And it's another reminder that it doesn't matter who you are, what mess you've made of your life, God is still constantly pursuing you. We talked about Ozzy Osbourne earlier and how some guy gave him a Bible 2 weeks before he died, and that Bible became like a really cherished thing to him. It was another story, an example of God still seeking people out even at the end, which is hopeful for all of us or the people in our lives as well. You know, they do say bad things come in threes, and so you mentioned Malcolm Jamal, Ozzy, and Hulk. Like when I pass away eventually one day, I hope that they're like, okay, that's one. What are the other two that are coming? But I have this bad feeling they'll be like, that doesn't count. That's not a one.
Wally who?
Yeah, that's not a one. Let's start over with a real celebrity. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. Got a chance for you to win a prize with Best Worst Joke. We haven't played this in a while, but people seem to like it. So the way it works is you have two jobs. We're going to tell a joke, and we're going to try to steal each other's punchline. If the punchline is stolen, that joke is out of the running. So you'll listen, tell us who had the best worst joke, and then you're going to tell us one. And if we cannot steal your punchline, you will win a prize. And I am sorry right now because I got help with my joke. It's from a professional comedian. So I apologize.
Whoa.
Yeah, this one came from Mary and her 6 and 7-year-old girls.
Okay.
They made this joke up. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do this. She says, we're from Maine and we're shellfish farmers, and this is a joke we came up with. So here we go. Why was the lobster sad?
Because he was a cryfish?
Getting closer,
no.
but because his friend was a little crabby. I got Gavin. Gavin joked.
That was good.
All right, so there's mine. Yeah.
I mean, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant joke by them.
Okay.
Betty Lou?
I got mine from Hannah, so we'll see how this goes. What is a kind of cool veggie?
Kind of cool? Lettuce.
A radish.
Radish. That's good.
Rad.
That's
Ish.
Radish.
I think little
Rad.
crabby.
Cool.
Little crabbies.
No, that's on
far
par.
better.
You get it. A rad.
Man.
Ish.
Kind of cool.
I love these jokes today.
All right, well, Gavin, let's see what you got. No,
Okay.
so far, everything's in contention.
I know. I don't think I'm going to win this. Which days of the week are the strongest?
Oh, dadgummit. I do know this one.
Wednesday, because it's got a lot of wind.
No. It is Saturday and Sunday because the rest are
weekdays. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, rough.
So
All right.
I complimented your jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is supposed to be best worst joke.
Right.
So,
True.
So maybe
I would
you're
say
up
yours
for
is
it.
pretty bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, you got 2 good ones in Gavin's to go from. 855-33-WAY-FM. Now remember, you have to tell us a joke. You have to tell us who won first of all. Then tell us your best worst joke, and if we cannot steal your punchline, you will get a prize. No punchlines were stolen, so we're kind of functioning at a mental deficit here. So 855-33-WAY-FM. You got a good chance to win today. 855-33-WAY-FM. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. Amber, welcome to Best Worst Joke. This is where we have told our jokes. All the jokes are in contention because there were no punchlines stolen. And so you have to tell us, first of all, who had the best worst joke.
As much as it pains me, it was you, Wally.
What? It wasn't even my joke. It was a joke that Mary and her 6 and 7-year-old daughters made up. Why was the lobster sad? Because his friend was a little crabby.
Here's the thing, Amber, I don't think you heard mine right. Let me say it one more time, and then maybe you can make a more valid decision. So mine was, what is a kind of cool veggie? A rad-ish. You get it? Radish?
I do.
Yeah, she does, but she's smart and she knows comedy. So there you go. I'm the winner today.
Boo.
Everyone hates that. See? Now, Amber, this is your job, okay? You have to tell us a joke. If we cannot steal your punchline, you're going to win a prize. What do you got?
Well, watch what I'm about to do here, okay?
Okay.
What is a kind of cool veggie?
A radish.
Iceberg lettuce.
Iceberg.
Because it's kind of cool, like cold, kind of cool. Yeah.
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
based on
temperature, not vibe.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, see?
Oh.
She took your joke, made it worse, and then, which I didn't think was possible, but won in the end. So, Amber, congratulations!
Can I change my vote?
No, you cannot.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
And now for some good news.
Uplifting Way FM. This here is the Wally Show with a little bit of good news. Giddy up. It's a roundup or a cavalcade of some good news stories because the regular news can be a little bit cantankerous. All right. Gavin, let's start with you. Good news, giddy up. Go.
A mother's worst nightmare turned actually into an unexpected blessing when another mom, a total stranger actually, saved her 15-year-old son's life. Her son, Evan, was on a baseball field playing the game when he suffered a cardiac arrest.
That's crazy.
15 years old. And this other mother who sprinted onto the field, she knew CPR, ran out, performed it for 8 minutes straight until the ambulance arrived. And it did work. And now
That's amazing.
her son is recovering.
Because they say, I found a study that's like 10 to 20% of the time it works. And like, so he's lucky he's in that 10 to 20%. Holy cow.
Well, and another thing about that was the lady that did the CPR, she hadn't had to use it for like 40 years.
Oh, so
I
she
think.
was-
So it could have gotten rusty, but
Yeah.
in the back of her head, but instead she.
Because
did it.
isn't there like a song that you're supposed to do to like
There's a
CPR? Staying alive?
Staying alive, staying alive.
You're not gonna die. You're not gonna die.
There you go.
Yeah, that would be good. Betty Rock, why don't we go to yours next?
Okay, well, there is a mailman that his good deed got caught on the Ring doorbell. So he had his same route every day, and on that route, he got to give little treats and pets to a German Shepherd dog. Well, recently, sadly, that German Shepherd dog, it passed away, and his owner just could not take it on herself to take him to the vet to get his ashes. And so the mailman actually went and got it for her and brought it back to her.
That's a special delivery.
Yeah, and then, so they sat on the porch together and cried together. And it was just a sweet moment.
That's so sad. But I like that the person didn't have to do that. It's easy to go, that's not my job. That's not my job. But he was a kind person and then actually did something nice for this other lady. Yeah. That's amazing. Well, there you go. That makes me feel good. That's going to do it for your good news giddy up.
Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.